Poverty is complex and it's very broad. There are a lot of issues that impact it and create it, and a lot of structural barriers. Recently I received a letter from a donor who had been a supporter of United Way for a long time and actually worked at the city social services and was responsible for assisting people who were in need of assistance. And in her letter she said to me that she felt like our social service system just gives enough money to keep people in poverty. It doesn't give them a hand up because there are so many barriers when you're living in low income. And we know that the fastest growing population of people living in poverty are the working poor. And we're seeing that where families are trying to work 2 and maybe 3 jobs that are low paying, no benefits. And so we have this whole new kind of population group that are really living in poverty, and it's really a growing concern. And so because it is complex, United Way is really focusing on one specific issue that we feel we can make an impact on, and that is intergenerational poverty. We know that 1 in 4 children are growing up in poverty. We know that 52% of children living in single parent households are growing up in low income, so more than half. And when a child is growing up in poverty and they're growing up in a low-income neighborhood, they're more likely to engage in alcohol and drug use. They're more likely to become a teenage parent. They have less access to transportation, less access to healthy food. And you take all of that and they're more likely to not, as a result of that, not perform well academically in school. And so you start to take all of those factors, and in our report, Overcoming the Odds, we really call those the bricks in the wall that slowly build up over time, that really prevent a young person from being able to lift themselves up and be able to move out of intergenerational poverty. And so United Way, really, although we had been for many years providing services that really kind of alleviate the impact of poverty, food banks and counseling services and things like that. We said we really need to tackle poverty. We really need to drive a stake in the ground and say, what can we do? We can do more. And so what we're going to focus on, and that's what our Bold Possibilities campaign is about, is to tackle intergenerational poverty by removing barriers for children to be able to succeed in school. Education is the great equalizer. It creates a level playing field. If you can graduate high school, move on to a trade, get a college diploma, university degree, then that positions you for success for the future.